Cool. So if you looked at the learning goals for this week on GitHub, then you would see, and now you can see that there is also after HTML something called Introduction to ARIA, and well, Will has sort of mentioned it already. It is when you are writing semantic HTML, then you are already doing part of that. I don't know if you've seen that there was also this preparation document on GitHub where there was also a couple of links to ARIA. Has any of you clicked through those?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I watched the videos.
Yeah.
About it.
Cool. So can you tell me what the ARIA means to you? How do you understand it?
I don't remember nothing, sorry.
It was
No worries.
actually a bit complicated
Yeah.
to understand, but something that could make more accessibility.
Yeah. And what is accessibility?
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
For disabled people who cannot
Yeah.
use a mouse or cannot use a touch,
Yeah.
can be accessible for internet, or they can also navigate through the website.
Yeah.
It's helpful to do that.
Yeah.
A different way,
Right.
like by the reading or something like that.
Yeah, like screen readers. And,
Yeah, like also this Siri.
Siri.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So accessibility basically means that we always want to develop websites as web developers which are accessible to everyone, so that everyone with all sorts of disabilities, either visual or hearing or not being able to use the mouse or something, will still have a full experience of your website. So that doesn't mean that they need to be able to see it, but that they need to be able to use it. So for example, and acquire information that they need, so that if you have a restaurant website, that they can find out what your opening hours are, or that they can book a table, or if you are, I don't know, some sort of official government thing, that you can still fill out their form even though you cannot see or cannot click with the mouse. So that's what's mostly important for you to know at this point. I'm not going to go into detail with ARIA because, in my view, it's something that should come later on. You're not gonna use ARIA tags before you use JavaScript, so it doesn't really matter. It's basically if you use semantic HTML tags. So if you use a button for something that's clickable, and if you use a nav for navigation and an image for an image, then the browsers provide a lot of inbuilt accessibility. So there is a lot of accessibility built into for example, the button HTML tag. So unless you do some custom stuff, then you get a lot of it already. So what is important for you to know at this point is that try to use semantic tags when you build your HTML. But if you are interested, then yeah, well, you're very welcome to read more up on these topics. For example, the one from the links that are included in this preparation document. So now we're gonna move on to CSS. So CSS, it stands for cascading style sheets, and it's basically, if HTML is the skeleton, if it's the what of your website, then CSS is the how it looks of your website. You decide if the navigation should be next to your logo or under it. You decide if a site should be actually on the side, because that doesn't happen automatically, and stuff like that. Don't know how much you have worked with CSS, but there is this running joke on the internet, like with the mock, that CSS is awesome, but you can't fit it into the box because it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like it really messes you up sometimes. So if stuff doesn't turn out as you want it to, it's probably fine. You will be fine. You just need to try a lot of different things and Google a little, because it is hard and it is confusing, and there is so much inheritance going on. So if you like want to select one certain HTML element, you might select a bunch of other things. So if you give it a background color or something, then suddenly all sorts of things get a background that you didn't intend to happen. That's very normal.
It was really annoying sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I think everybody hates it to begin
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But when you figure it out how to select stuff so that you only select the things that you want, then you will maybe turn to love it. I love it. I have to tell you, but there I have some colleagues who still hate it. So let's see how it will go for you. But I'm actually not going to say too much right now. I'm going to show you the syntax, which you have probably seen before. Syntax, do you know the word syntax? What that means?
No, actually, I really want to know, because when you just look it up in dictionary, you cannot find
No.
like a relevant meaning.
Syntax basically means like how you write it when you write it in code. So CSS syntax is what the correct way of writing CSS is. That's what it means. And so when you write CSS, can you all see the projector? Then you basically, the A tag, that's your selector. You are selecting all A tags, anchors, HTML tags on your website. And the curly brace, can you see that after the A tag? It's called a curly bracket or a curly brace. That's your declaration start. Your declaration is the styling declaration, what you want to do with this A tag. And then the property in this case is the background color. So you would write whatever property you want to style. What you want to style with. It can be a background color. Do you know other properties that you can? Font
Style,
font
yeah,
color.
yeah,
from the size,
yeah,
and
Float, positioning,
yeah, positioning, yeah, overflow, yeah,
text align.
yes, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's really a lot of different CSS properties. Yeah. So after the property, you write the colon. Is it called a colon?
Colon, yeah.
A colon, and that's your property value separator. So that's where your property ends and the value begins. And the value is the value of your property. So what should be the background color, or how big should be the font size, or the font weight, or what should be the overflow. And then you end your value with the semicolon. Very good. And then you end you can add multiple declarations, multiple properties if you want to. You can also add, besides the background color, also a font size, or also overflow, or also something different. And then when you are done with all your styles connected to the A tag, then you end your declaration with the ending curly bracket. So before we move on, I'm going to give you an exercise now, just to basically get an idea of how much you know of CSS. I have huge expectations, so no stress. I'm going to give you. I have made this. I don't know if you're familiar with CodePen. Do you know it?
Yeah.
actually, we did our assignment in the
On CodePen. Okay, perfect. Well, CodePen is a really, really awesome resource, both for students and teachers and developers and even designers in general. So I made this very, very basic, don't know if you can see it, I'll bring it here, very, very basic HTML structure with some very basic content. So that's what I made. And I added some different, well, assignments, 7 different ones, where you basically need to style this HTML. I'm going to post this to, oh, actually, to Slack, and what I want you to do is style it. So do all the challenges that are in there. But, well, I don't know if you prefer to do it on CodePen, or maybe it would be better. You know what?
Yeah, because then it's live updating, so yeah, it's probably
best on CodePen.
I think so. Yeah, then they can see like the changes being made.
Okay, so what you can do is when you go through the challenge, you can fork this. Then it will be yours. Then it will open a whole new one with exactly the same stuff in it, and then you can change it. And if you have a login, then you can even save it, and it will be saved to your profile. It will be one of your pens, so it's saved forever. So I think we'll try maybe with 15 minutes.
Yep.
So until 3:30, and we'll see how far you get. Now I'm gonna stop.